Tonight, imagine opening your eyes nearly 2,000 years ago in the vast Roman Empire. The sky is still dark. A cold breeze moves across a military camp somewhere near Rome's northern frontier. The smell of damp earth with smoke and leather fills the air. Rows of white canvas tents stretch into the distance, arranged with perfect order. Not a single tent is out of place. Everything in the Roman army has its purpose. Everything follows strict discipline. And today, you're no longer an ordinary citizen. You are a Roman soldier. Before the sun has even risen, a loud bronze trumpet pierces the silence. Its sound echoes across the camp. Within seconds, hundreds of soldiers climb out of their tents. There is no sleeping in. There are no excuses. The Roman army waits for no one. You quickly put on your simple wool tunic and leather sandals before reaching for your equipment. Nearby, officers walk between the tents, making sure every soldier is awake. Anyone who ignores an order risks severe punishment. Discipline is a foundation of Rome's military power. Without it, the empire would never have conquered lands stretching from Britain to the Middle East. As the first light appears over the horizon, the camp comes alive. Blacksmiths repair damaged weapons. Cooks prepare simple morning meals. Messengers carry orders between officers. Stable workers feed the horses. Guards change shifts at the wooden gates. Every man knows exactly what he must do. No one wastes time. Breakfast is small but filling. Fresh bread, a bowl of porridge, cheese, sometimes dried fruit, and water. Roman soldiers rarely drank wine before beginning the day's work. A clear mind was considered just as important as a sharp sword. The meal is finished quickly. Soon, another trumpet sounds. Training begins. Many people imagine Roman soldiers spending every day fighting enemies. The reality was very different. Most days were filled with training, again and again, day after day. Even experienced veterans trained constantly. Roman commanders believed that hard practice won battles long before armies ever met. You pick up a heavy wooden training sword. Like gladiators, Roman soldiers practiced with weapons heavier than the real thing. The extra weight strengthened their muscles and improved endurance. Beside you stands a thick wooden post driven deep into the ground. This post is your training partner. For the next several hours, you strike it over and over again. High cuts, low cuts, forward thrusts, shield blocks. Every movement is repeated until it becomes instinct. Your arms soon begin to ache. Sweat runs down your face. Your hands grow sore from gripping the wooden sword. But the instructors never tell you to stop. Instead, they demand another strike. Then another. Then another. Roman officers believe fatigue revealed true discipline. Anyone could fight while feeling strong. A real soldier fought even after exhaustion had taken over. Once sword practice ends, shield drills begin. The famous Roman shield, known as the scutum, is much larger than many people imagine. It protects almost the entire body, but carrying it all day requires tremendous strength. You learn how to move as part of a formation. One shield connects with another. Every soldier depends on the man standing beside him. The Roman army fights as one body, not as hundreds of individuals. If one soldier breaks formation, everyone becomes vulnerable. That is why teamwork matters more than bravery. The instructors constantly repeat the same lesson. A disciplined soldier defeats a reckless hero. After shield practice comes marching. Not a short walk, a march. Every Roman soldier carries nearly everything he needs on his own back. Weapons, armor, cooking equipment, tools, food, water, blankets, spare clothing. The total weight can exceed 40 kilograms. And yet, you are expected to march for hours without complaint. Roads stretch endlessly before you. Dust rises beneath every step. The sound of hundreds of sandals striking the earth creates a steady rhythm. No one speaks. Breathing becomes heavier with every mile. Still, the pace never slows. Roman armies became famous not only because they fought well, but because they could move farther and faster than nearly any enemy. By midday, the sun burns overhead. The weight of your equipment feels twice as heavy. Your shoulders ache. Your legs feel stiff. Blisters begin forming inside your sandals. You hope for rest. Instead, the officers order another exercise. This time, it's construction work. This surprises many new recruits. Roman soldiers were builders as much as warriors. Every evening, when the army stopped marching, the soldiers built an entire fortified camp before sleeping. They dug deep ditches, raised wooden walls, built watchtowers, strengthened gates. Even if they planned to stay only one night, the Roman army believed safety should never depend on luck. As you dig into the hard ground, your hands become covered with dirt. The shovel feels heavier with every movement. But no one complains, because tomorrow the camp will be taken apart, and another one will be built somewhere else. This endless cycle continues month after month. Many recruits begin dreaming of glorious battles. Instead, they discover endless marching, endless digging, endless training. Yet all of it serves one purpose: preparation. Because when battle finally comes, there will be no time left to learn. As the afternoon slowly fades, you finally receive permission to rest. You remove your helmet. Your neck instantly feels lighter. You sit beside several other soldiers. Some quietly repair worn sandals. Others sharpen their swords. A few write short letters home whenever they have the chance. Conversation is calm. Most men are too tired to speak very much. The evening meal is simple: bread, vegetable stew, cheese, sometimes salted meat if supplies are good. The Roman army understands one important truth: a hungry soldier is a weak soldier. As darkness settles over the camp, fires begin glowing between the tents. Guards climb into wooden watchtowers. The sounds of distant wolves echo beyond the walls. Somewhere out there, unknown enemies watch from the forest. Tomorrow could bring another march, another camp, or perhaps your very first battle. You lie down on your simple bedroll inside the tent. Your muscles ache from a full day of work. Your hands still smell of leather and iron. Outside, the night grows quiet. But one thought refuses to leave your mind. If training is this difficult, what will happen when the real fighting begins? The morning begins before the sun rises. A cold mist hangs over the camp, covering the rows of tents in silence. For a few peaceful moments, everything feels still. Then the trumpet sounds. Within seconds, every soldier is awake. There is no hesitation, no delay. You quickly roll up your bedroll, fasten your armor, and gather your equipment. Around you, hundreds of soldiers are doing exactly the same thing. The camp that took hours to build yesterday begins to disappear. Tents are folded. Cooking fires are extinguished. Supply wagons are loaded. Nothing is left behind. Roman armies leave almost no trace of where they spent the night. Soon, the order to march is given. The great column begins to move. Hundreds of soldiers walk together in perfect formation. The only sounds are marching sandals, rattling armor, and the distant calls of birds. The road ahead seems endless. You have no idea how far today's journey will be. It could be 20 kilometers. It could be 40. No one asks. Roman soldiers march until they are ordered to stop. Hours pass beneath the rising sun. The weight of your equipment presses against your shoulders. Your shield rubs against your arm. The iron helmet traps the heat. Sweat slowly runs down your face. Still, the pace never changes. The officers expect every man to keep moving. Falling behind is not an option. As the road winds through forests and hills, you begin to understand why Roman roads were considered one of the empire's greatest achievements. They are wide, straight, well built. Legions can move quickly across enormous distances. Messages travel faster. Supplies arrive more easily. These roads connect an empire stretching across 3 continents. Every step you take reminds you that Rome was built not only by armies, but also by engineers. Around midday, the column finally stops beside a small river. The soldiers remove their helmets and drink fresh water. Some refill leather water skins. Others quietly eat bread, dried figs, and cheese. The break lasts only a short time. Soon another command echoes through the ranks. The march continues. Days pass in much the same way. March, eat, train, build camp, sleep, then repeat everything again. For many Roman soldiers, this routine continues for years. Some spend decades serving the empire. Not every soldier dies in battle. Many are defeated instead by exhaustion, illness, or harsh weather. One evening, as the sun begins to disappear behind distant hills, the atmosphere suddenly changes. A group of mounted scouts races toward the column. Their horses are covered in dust. The men dismount quickly and report to commanding officers. The news spreads quietly from one officer to another. Enemy warriors have been spotted nearby. No one panics. The Roman army has prepared for this moment every single day. Orders are given immediately. The soldiers stop marching. Everyone begins building another fortified camp. Only this time, the work happens twice as fast. Deep defensive ditches are dug around the camp. Heavy wooden stakes are placed along the walls. Extra guards are assigned to the watchtowers. Archers prepare bundles of arrows. The cavalry checks their horses one final time. Inside the camp, no one laughs. Even the most experienced veterans become quieter. Tomorrow may bring battle. As darkness falls, fires are kept small. Large flames could reveal the army's position. Most soldiers spend the evening repairing armor and sharpening weapons. You carefully inspect your sword. Every edge must be perfect. A dull blade could mean the difference between life and death. Nearby, an older veteran notices your nervous expression. He smiles gently. "It never gets easier," he says. You simply learn to hide the fear. Those words stay with you long after conversation ends. Later that night, sleep comes slowly. Every unusual sound outside the walls catches your attention. The wind moving through the trees, the footsteps of the guards, the distant howl of wolves, or perhaps something else, somewhere beyond the darkness. Enemy warriors may already be watching. Before sunrise, another trumpet echoes across the camp. This time, its sound feels different, heavier, more urgent. The officers move quickly between the tents. Armor is fastened. Helmets are secured. Weapons are checked one final time. No one needs to explain what is happening. Today, there will be no long march. Today, you will meet the enemy. The gates of the camp slowly open. The legion marches into the morning fog. Visibility is poor. Only the soldiers directly ahead can be seen clearly. The silence is almost unbearable. Even the birds seem to have disappeared. Every man grips his shield a little tighter. Every heartbeat feels louder than the last. After nearly an hour, the scouts return once again. This time, they point toward a distant hillside. Tiny figures can be seen standing along the ridge. The enemy has arrived. The officers immediately begin giving commands. The legion forms into battle lines with remarkable speed. Centurions walk along the ranks, making final adjustments. Each shield overlaps with the next. Every soldier knows exactly where he belongs. Years of training have prepared them for this single moment. Across the valley, the enemy warriors begin shouting. Their voices echo through the hills. Some beat their weapons against their shields. Others raise spears into the air. They hope to frighten the Romans before the battle even begins. The Roman soldiers remain silent. Discipline is stronger than noise. The only sound comes from the steady breathing of hundreds of men standing shoulder to shoulder. Then, a command rings out. The first line lowers their shields. The second line prepares their throwing spears. The air becomes completely still. For one brief moment, both armies simply stare at one another. Thousands of lives balanced on the edge of a single command. You tighten your grip on your shield. Your mouth feels dry. Your heart pounds beneath your armor. Every lesson from training returns to your mind. Stay in formation. Protect the man beside you. Trust your shield. Trust your legion. Then, the Roman commander raises his sword. The order you feared since joining the army finally comes. The command echoes across the battlefield. Advance! At once, the entire legion begins to move. Not running, not shouting, just walking. Hundreds of soldiers step forward together, each pace perfectly matched with the man beside him. The ground trembles beneath thousands of marching feet. The only sounds are clinking armor, steady footsteps, and the wind sweeping across the open valley. Ahead, the enemy continues shouting. They wave their swords and spears high into the air. Some strike their shields to create a terrifying rhythm. It is meant to frighten you. It is meant to break your courage before the battle even begins. But the Roman line never changes. Your eyes remain fixed ahead. Your shield stays locked beside the shields of your fellow soldiers. Your training has prepared you for this very moment. As the distance between both armies grows smaller, another command is shouted. Ready your pila! You reach for the heavy throwing spear strapped to your back. The pilum is unlike any ordinary spear. Its long iron shaft is designed to bend after striking a shield. An enemy cannot easily throw it back. Even worse, the bent spear makes a shield heavy and difficult to use. It is a clever weapon. Just like much of the Roman army, the commander waits. The enemy keeps charging. Closer, closer, closer. Then, throw. Hundreds of spears fill the sky at once. For a brief second, they seem almost graceful. Then they crash into the enemy lines. With splinters, shields crack. Several warriors stumble to the ground. Others desperately try to pull the heavy spears from their shields. Many simply throw their shields away, exactly as the Romans intended. Before the enemy has time to recover, another command follows. Draw swords. You pull your gladius from its sheath. The blade is shorter than many enemy swords, but it is designed for close combat. Roman soldiers are taught to thrust, not swing wildly. A quick thrust is faster, more controlled, and often more deadly. The enemy crashes into the Roman line. For the first time, steel meets steel. The sound is deafening. Shields slam together. Swords scrape against armor. Men shout. Dust rises into the air. The peaceful valley disappears beneath chaos. You raise your shield just in time. A heavy blow strikes it with tremendous force. The impact nearly knocks you backward. Your arm aches instantly. Before your opponent can attack again, you step forward, exactly as you practiced hundreds of times. Your sword thrusts beneath his shield. The movement is quick, simple, efficient. The man falls backward. There is no time to think. Another enemy immediately takes his place. That is the reality of ancient warfare. There are no dramatic duels, no long conversations between enemies, only constant movement, constant danger. The Roman formation holds. Every soldier protects the man beside him. If one fighter grows tired, another quietly moves forward to replace him. Fresh soldiers rotate into the front line, while exhausted men step back to recover. This simple system allows a legion to keep fighting far longer than most armies. Discipline wins battles, not individual strength. The fighting continues. Minutes begin to feel like hours. Sweat runs into your eyes. Your shield grows heavier with every passing moment. Your breathing becomes louder inside your helmet. The air smells of dust, leather, iron, and smoke. You can barely hear individual voices anymore. Everything blends into one endless roar. Suddenly, a trumpet sounds from somewhere behind the Roman lines. The cavalry begins moving. Horsemen race around the edge of the battlefield, searching for weak points in the enemy formation. At the same time, Roman archers release another storm of arrows. The enemy begins losing confidence. Small gaps appear in their line. The centurions notice immediately. Without hesitation, new orders are shouted. The Roman soldiers push forward together, shield against shield, step by step, never rushing, never breaking formation. The enemy slowly retreats. Some continue fighting bravely. Others begin looking over their shoulders. Fear spreads quickly across the battlefield. One man runs, then another. Soon, entire groups begin retreating. The Roman line continues advancing, not wildly chasing, not celebrating, only moving forward with calm discipline. Veteran soldiers know something important. Many battles are lost not during the fighting, but during the pursuit. A careless soldier can easily become separated from the legion. Alone, even the strongest warrior is vulnerable. The commanders refuse to let excitement replace discipline. Eventually, another trumpet echoes across the valley. The signal means only one thing. The battle is over. Slowly, the Roman soldiers stop advancing. The silence that follows feels almost unreal. Only a moment ago, the battlefield echoed with shouting and clashing steel. Now, only the wind remains. You finally lower your shield. Your arms feel numb. Your legs tremble with exhaustion. You look around. The ground is covered with broken shields, damaged helmets, shattered spears, and abandoned equipment. The victory belongs to Rome, but it has come at a cost. Nearby, Roman medics move quickly between the wounded. Some soldiers receive bandages. Others are carried toward the camp. Many will recover. Some never will. Victory does not erase pain. As the afternoon fades, the Legion begins its work once again. The wounded are treated. Equipment is repaired. Supplies are counted. The fallen are honored with quiet respect. Tomorrow, the march will continue. Another road, another frontier, another unknown enemy waiting somewhere beyond the horizon. That is the life of a Roman soldier. There is no permanent peace, no lasting comfort, only duty, only discipline, only the next command. As the sun slowly sets beyond the distant hills, you stand beside your fellow soldiers. Your armor is scratched. Your shield bears fresh scars. Your body is exhausted, but you are still standing. And in the Roman army, sometimes surviving one more day is the greatest victory of all. The battle is over. The enemy has disappeared beyond the hills. The shouting has faded. The clash of steel has finally fallen silent. But your work is far from finished. For a Roman soldier, victory never means rest. As the sun begins to set, the centurions issue new orders. The legion immediately returns to work. Some soldiers collect abandoned weapons. Others gather arrows that can still be used. Blacksmiths inspect damaged armor. Engineers measure the ground for another fortified camp. Everything happens with remarkable speed. The Roman army never assumes the danger has passed. The enemy could return at any moment. Within minutes, hundreds of soldiers are digging trenches once again. Wooden stakes are hammered into the earth. Defensive walls begin to rise. Watchtowers take shape before darkness falls. It feels unbelievable. Only hours ago, you were fighting for your life. Now you're building an entire fortress. This is one of the greatest reasons Rome dominated so much of the ancient world. Its soldiers were not only warriors, they were builders, engineers, carpenters, laborers. Every legion carried the tools needed to create roads, bridges, forts, and camps wherever they traveled. The empire was built with shovels almost as often as swords. Days turn into weeks. Weeks become months. Your life settles into a relentless routine. March, build, train, guard, sleep, repeat. Every sunrise brings another task. Every sunset brings another camp. The seasons slowly change. Summer heat gives way to autumn rain. Soon winter arrives. Cold winds sweep across the northern frontiers. Snow covers the roads. The leather of your sandals grows stiff. Your fingers become numb during night watch. Yet the patrols never stop. The borders of the empire must always be protected. Many Roman soldiers spend years stationed far from Rome. Some serve in the forests of Germania. Others guard the deserts of Syria. Some are posted along the mighty Danube River. Many never return to the city where they were born. The army becomes their home. Their fellow soldiers become their family. One evening, you're assigned to guard duty along the camp wall. The moon hangs low in the sky. Torches flicker in the cold wind. Everything seems peaceful, almost too peaceful. You walk slowly along the wooden wall, scanning the darkness beyond. Every shadow catches your attention. A moving branch, a distant animal, the sound of flowing water. You must stay alert. Many attacks happen at night. An army caught sleeping can disappear before sunrise. Hours pass. Nothing happens, yet you cannot relax. That constant tension becomes part of military life. You learn to expect danger even during quiet moments. After several years, your armor begins showing signs of age. Small dents cover your helmet. Your shield bears countless scratches. Your sword has been sharpened so many times that its blade is slightly shorter than before. Each mark tells a story. Each scar reminds you of another campaign, another march, another battle survived. The young recruit who once struggled during training no longer exists. Now, you are one of the veterans. New soldiers arrive every season. You recognize the fear in their faces. You remember feeling exactly the same. They ask questions. How do you survive? How do you stay calm? How do you keep marching when every muscle aches? You smile quietly. The first year is the hardest, you tell them. After that, your body stops asking for comfort. The younger soldiers laugh. But after enough campaigns, they understand exactly what you meant. Years continue to pass. The empire keeps expanding. New roads appear. New forts are built. New enemies rise beyond the borders. Wherever Rome goes, the legion follows. Sometimes you march through dense forests where sunlight barely reaches the ground. Other times you cross dry plains stretching farther than the eye can see. You build bridges across rivers, cut roads through mountains, construct massive stone forts that will stand for centuries. Many people remember Roman victories. Few remember the endless labor that made those victories possible. Eventually, your years of service begin to add up. 20 years, then 25. Very few soldiers remain in the army for so long. Your hair has begun to turn gray. Your movements are slower. Your scars have multiplied. Yet your experience makes you valuable. Young officers often seek your advice. They know books can teach strategy, but only time teaches survival. One quiet afternoon, an official arrives carrying several sealed scrolls. Names are called one by one. Each soldier steps forward. When your name is spoken, you stand at attention. The official smiles. He hands you a document bearing the seal of Rome. Your military service is complete. After decades of loyalty, you are finally discharged. Along with your discharge comes something many soldiers dream about for years: land, or a financial reward. Rome understands that loyal veterans deserve compensation. Many retired soldiers settle in distant provinces. Some become farmers. Some start businesses. Others train the next generation of recruits. For the first time in decades, your future belongs to you. That evening, you take one last walk through the camp. The fires burn as they always have. Young soldiers clean their armor. Centurions shout instructions. The blacksmith's hammer echoes through the night. Everything continues exactly as before. Only one thing has changed. Tomorrow, you will no longer be a Roman soldier. You realize something as you look across the camp. The greatest challenge was never defeating the enemy. The greatest challenge was surviving the years between battles. The morning feels different. For the first time in decades, no bronze trumpet wakes you before sunrise. No officer shouts your name. No centurion orders you to gather your equipment. The camp is already alive, but today, you are simply watching. You fold your worn blanket one final time. You carefully polish your old helmet. Its surface is scratched and dented from years of service. Every mark reminds you of a different campaign, a different road, a different battle. You place your sword beside your shield. For so many years, these objects were part of your life. Now, they are becoming memories. Before leaving, you walk slowly through the military camp. Young recruits are already training with heavy wooden swords. Their movements are clumsy. Their shields feel too heavy. Their instructors shout the same words you heard many years ago. Hold the line. Stay in formation. Trust the soldier beside you. You smile quietly. Time has changed the faces, but the Roman army remains the same. Discipline still comes before strength. Duty still comes before comfort. The camp gates open. You step outside. No guards stop you. No orders follow you. For the first time in many years, you are free to choose your own path. The road ahead stretches across the countryside. It feels strangely peaceful. There are no marching columns, no rattling armor, only birds singing in the morning light. As you walk, you begin to notice things you once ignored. Farmers working in their fields, children laughing near a small stream, merchants leading wagons filled with grain and olive oil. Life beyond the army has continued all these years. The empire you helped protect is still alive, and now you finally have a chance to enjoy it. Many retired Roman soldiers received land in distant provinces. Some built farms. Others settled in growing towns along the empire's frontiers. Veterans often became respected members of their communities. People admired them for their discipline and experience. Some even became local leaders. You decide to build a quiet life far from the battlefield, a small stone house, a modest vineyard, a few olive trees. The days pass more slowly now. Instead of sharpening swords, you sharpen farming tools. Instead of building military camps, you repair fences. Instead of listening for enemy horns, you wake to the sound of birds. Yet some habits never disappear. You still wait before sunrise. You still keep your tools neatly organized. You still inspect every door before going to bed. Years of military discipline stay with you forever. Sometimes travelers stop by your home. They bring news from across the empire. Another campaign in the east. A new emperor in Rome. Trouble along the northern frontier. You listen quietly. Part of you misses the life of the legion, the brotherhood, the purpose, the feeling of standing shoulder to shoulder with men who trusted one another completely. But another part of you is grateful. Grateful that your battles are finally over. As the years pass, children from nearby villages often visit. They ask about the Roman army. They want stories of great victories, massive battles, heroic warriors. You tell them the truth. You explain that life as a Roman soldier was rarely glorious. Most days were spent marching beneath the burning sun, digging trenches, building roads, repairing forts, standing guard through freezing nights. Victory belonged not to the strongest soldier, but to the most disciplined one. The children seemed surprised. They imagined endless battles. Instead, they discovered that patience built the empire just as much as courage. One evening, as the sun begins to set, you climb a nearby hill. In the distance, a Roman road stretches toward the horizon. You remember marching along roads just like it for thousands of kilometers. You remember crossing rivers on bridges your own hands helped build. You remember forests, mountains, deserts, and endless frontiers. Every road carries a memory. Every scar tells a story. As darkness slowly settles across the land, you begin to understand something important. Rome was never built by emperors alone. It was built by ordinary soldiers, men who marched farther than they thought possible, men who endured hunger, cold, rain, and exhaustion, men who sacrificed years of their lives so the empire could continue to grow. Many of their names have been forgotten. History remembers great generals and powerful emperors, but the ordinary legionaries carried Rome on their shoulders. Without them, the empire would never have become one of the greatest civilizations the world has ever known. So, would you survive as a Roman soldier? Perhaps. But surviving required much more than knowing how to fight. It demanded discipline every single day. The strength to march when your feet were covered in blisters. The courage to stand firm while an enemy charged toward you. The patience to build camps after winning battles. And the determination to serve for decades, often far from everyone you loved. That is the true story of a Roman soldier. Not one of constant glory, but one of endless duty. A life shaped by sacrifice. A life built on discipline. And a legacy that helped shape the course of history. As the last rays of sunlight disappear beyond the horizon, you take one final look at the road stretching into the distance. A road you once believed would never end. Then you turn toward home. Your journey as a soldier is finally over. And for the first time in many years, you can simply rest. Thank you for joining this journey into ancient Rome. Sleep peacefully, and until our next journey through history. Good night, ***.